Hey everyone, thank you so much for tuning back to my channel. And if you have decided to move a tree fern and bit reluctant, will I damage it? I really hope that this video helps you. I can just ease your mind that Dicksonia trees are the easiest ones to move, and because they don't have a huge root hole at the bottom, it makes it easier to dig. So the Dicksonia I am showing you here is a 3 foot tall stump which I planted 2 years ago, but I have decided to change the designing of my garden, which I actually have made big mess right now here. So I thought, okay, I'm just gonna move it. So I would really recommend that the best time to move really any plant is when they are not in the growing season, i.e. you can start moving from late autumn to all the way early spring. It just enhances the chances of transplanting much more easier. It does not mean that you can't move Dicksonia if you have passed that time, if you have no option and this is the time you have to do it. You have to just to go for it. The only tip I want to add before I dig any plant, I always water it well. Because I dug up in early spring, I didn't have to water, so it was already moist and I just did the digging. But if you're planning to do it and it's a dry season or it's late spring, early summer, water it thoroughly a night before, and then you can do your digging in the morning. It serves two purpose. One, it makes the digging much more easier. Second, it keeps the roots really moist. That means your plant doesn't go that much into shock. So watering is a free. Actually, we do pay for water bills now. So you can water. You still need to water and just be ready to dig it up. Before you dig it up, again, depending on how big your Dicksonia is, it's not really easy to maneuver. To ease that, make sure your new planting location is ready, and you can always add this fungi, which I'm just going to link in the description. It enhances new growth. I did not use any of that because I didn't have it and I didn't want to go lift and unlift my Dicksonia. I have just done it and it's doing brilliantly. When you started digging, you can always start digging from, let's say, I started from a foot apart from the stump, and if I was hitting a root, I knew I was kind of in the right area. If you don't hit any root, let's say you started to dig a foot and a half away from the tree, depending again on your size of the tree, how many years it's been there, so all these factors make a big difference on how wider you need to go for digging. So you can, if you think you are touching a lot of roots, you can just start to come bit out. If you think you're not touching any roots, you can start to go a bit in, because you need to have kind of a cut at the edge of the rooting so that your Dicksonia can simply be off the ground. And the best thing you can also do is, if it doesn't come out, you can shift it up, left, right, all around. It just helps to come out quickly. Mine was in a raised bed. Digging in a raised bed is so much easier compared to digging in the ground, so I have done it under 8 minutes. That's how quick this digging was. Again, if it's a huge tree, you can always trim off the leaves and it's going to always grow new leaves. And if you think, no, I can do without cutting down the leaves, you can just go for that. And I just think if you are doing it in the peak season, you should cut down some leaves. It just gives us a time for plant to settle and it will start to always shoot out new growth. And in terms of locations, you know, Dicksonias, they really prefer kind of partial shade, even shade. They don't like sun, but unfortunately the location I have chosen for my plant is a really sunny location. Again, it doesn't mean they can't do well in sun. They can, they just need to be watered really well. So I will see how it goes this year. So far you can see it's just looking absolutely amazing, and I'm just really happy that I have moved it from one location to another location and it has survived. In terms of help, if your plant is bigger, you do need help. Mine was only 3 foot tall stump and I was unable to move it because it had such a heavy root ball at the bottom, and again it was a spring, it was quite moist and it was really heavy with moisture, and I had to call my husband to help me out. So again, if your hole is ready, just to plant it in, it makes it much more easier. In terms of how much you need to go down, I wanted to be a bit more greedier. I didn't want to plant it at the same level I dug it up. I wanted it to plant it tiny bit higher because I knew there was a lot of stability with the roots, and I just didn't want to take any chances, and I already dug the hole which was the exact size, and I didn't want to lift it all up, put the soil in, gain maybe an inch or two, so I just left it same level as my previous. It's just crazy how we try to be greedy with Dicksonia's height. But anyway, I really hope that this kind of does help. Again, just keep on watering until it settles. So because I done it in the spring, I watered it pretty much every other day, and after that I started to ease off. Now I water it once a week. Sometimes I even forget that, but it's still doing really well. And there is a fern feed you can buy which also enhances a really nice new growth, which I started to give it when I started to see it has settled and the new fronds are coming, and I started to introduce really weaker feed which was in the month of May, and now we are June. So yeah, it's just looking amazing. I'm really happy, and again I just want to say, don't sweat it. It's easy, so just go for it. Thank you. Bye.